Howdy, Mike McCoy here, back on the porch, here around the little ding-a-lings. Got my other little ding-a-ling of being the camera person, Mother. And the title of today's video is So You Won't Be a Timber Cutter. And I've watched a lot of timber cutting on YouTube, and God, these fellers is good. I mean, it just amazes me how good they are. And I know back when I cut timber, if it was a good tree, the only way I know to get it down without busting is stump jump it. And I reckon they'll put you in jail for that now. It's illegal against OSHA regulations. But you know, it's triple hinge and Humboldt and all that. I didn't know nothing about that. I never seen the whole time I cut timber, I never seen a wedge. Phil Anderson from Oregon, when he worked for me, he got me to order him some wedges. Poor Phil couldn't use them, for he didn't know how to cut timber. He was a rigging slinger. But, you know, I've learned a lot just watching techniques and stuff, how these fellas do it. And I know down here they have little seminars and classes show these timber cutters how to be better timber cutters and stuff, and that's a good thing. For, well, back in the 70s and 80s, only way you learned to cut timber is from somebody else, and the one you was learning from probably didn't know that much either, you know. And I've seen some boneheads out there cutting timber, and I've done bonehead stuff myself. I've nearly been killed twice of cutting a tree with another tree leant over in it. And in my thinking, that's one of the dangerous things you can do. There was an old man told me years ago, he said, son, you start cutting trees laying in them, said that's a good way to shake hands with Jesus. I never forgot that. And I know people that's been killed doing that. So if you're in a big hurry and you're a logger and you lodge one in another tree, think about that before you run in there and start cutting it down. You might be shaking hands with Jesus in the next few minutes. And it's just the way it is. But timber cutting, the saws is better. I think they are. I don't know. They may not be. I had a Sax Domar back in the 80s. I'd say stand toe to toe with a 395 Husky. But here in these mountains, I saw like that's so heavy it'll wear you out just carrying it up and down these ridges. And you know, it's just whatever you want. I think here we use smaller saws than they do off from here just because they're lighter. And I think we cut timber a little bit different, hanging on the sides of these hills. The only time I ever seen it happen, we was cutting some ground so steep that there was an oak actually turned end over end and slid almost to the landing. Never seen that before, but I mean it was straight up and down. But in our timber, we've got some big timber, but it seems like off from here, like in Indiana, Kentucky and stuff, our timber might be a little bit bigger. Better grade. But I know one thing, I think logging's a whole lot safer now. I mean, I never seen a man in the woods with a hard hat on till up probably the late 80s, maybe early 90s. People got to wearing them a little bit. Never did see anybody with chaps on. I never did wear chaps. I hated them things. I was always kind of heavy, and I needed all the help I had about being able to move and stuff, and I didn't want to be tied down with chaps. But that was just me. Never did wear any hearing protection. That's why I'm about deaf now. Mother's grinning like, yeah, I told you to, but you didn't. Well, I'm deaf. I think it's hereditary more than anything else.
You know sign language pretty good.
Yeah, I'm down to sign language. But, you know, if you want to be a timber cutter, learn all you can. Try to hook up with somebody that knows what they're doing. And we'll show you. And a lot of these fellers will. You know, and understand the dynamics of cutting trees. There's a lot to be learned there, and the learning process can get you. And then you can get to the point you just think you're so good that you can't get hurt, and that can get you killed too. It don't take but one mistake, but there's a huge amount of satisfaction watching a big old oak hit the ground safely. And it's a little disappointment watching the same oak split 30 foot up on it, you know. I know one time it was a real pretty oak. That thing, it just had one nice log in it. But it had, the limbs was so big it'd make logs. And I worried with that thing, I bet you an hour getting it down. And it fell over and didn't even pull a splinter out of the stump. And hit on one of them big old limbs and split from one end to the other. I mean, it was just perfectly right down the middle. When I loaded it in the truck, I put them ends back together, you know, or the side. I made a whole log out of it. And it split so good that they didn't even dock me at the sawmill. I figured they'd really dock it because, you know, he said, it'll just make it saw that much better. And they took it, but it was a nice log. When you pull one that's just splinters, that's when it gets to be a heartbreaker. And there's so many things that can go wrong in the woods. I always got more trouble with poplar than anything. Poplar's so easy to cut. You get in a hurry of cutting it and you start cutting corners. Next thing you know, you had the snot scared out of you. You get back to putting notches and cutting it the way it's supposed to be. But that's got more to do with laziness than anything else. Being in a hurry won't get a lot of timber down. But that's just my thoughts on timber cutting this morning.
Hey, Gizmo.
There's the house cat.
Zoe's house cat.
Fall is right now here. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Have a great day.